everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys tips on things that you can do to improve your skills when cold calling and have success on the phones. So definitely stay tuned. So first, number one, what has helped me is that anytime before I begin my calls, let's say that I begin in the morning, right before I start my calls, and as soon as I start my day, I write down affirmations. These affirmations help me get in a mindset of positivity and telling myself that I am great at cold calling, I am the best real estate agent to speak to this person, and I'm gonna have a great day with nobody being rude and everyone just happy and excited to talk to me. Now, you might be watching, you're probably thinking, well, Loida, let's be honest, yeah, it doesn't go like that. You will get those people that are dicks on the phone that are going to tell you, you are the 1 millionth agent that has called me today, or please take me off of your list and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that's true. I mean, those are just things that we can't avoid, but it has happened to me many times where I get those people and they sound like they're going to be rude, but then they hear me and it's almost like they're not rude anymore. Which brings me to my second point. Anytime that I'm making cold calls, I'm always smiling. If you haven't noticed, I'm not sure how you speak, but when you're smiling, it changes the tonality, and when people hear you on the other line, it's almost like they can sense that you have a more upbeat and uplifting voice, as opposed to being serious and monotone and just not having any type of emotion in what you're saying. Can you guys see the difference? So I have noticed that for me, it helps that when I'm calling, I'm always smiling, whoever it is. And it's funny because I find myself personally always just smiling all the time. And people are able to notice even when it's on the phone. So when I say, hey, is this Anthony? And they say, no. Okay, well, I'll be very quick. I was calling about property XYZ. I saw it came off the market. Was that a mistake or was that already sold? If you can hear the difference in my voice versus like, hey, I was calling about a property XYZ. Is it available? I'm sure you already saw that it came off the market. It sounds very different, and I have seen much success when I do the first one that I showed you, where my voice is upbeat and my pitch is a little bit higher. Now, number three, and this can also go along with number two, is this handy little thing right here, a mirror. If you guys can see, I have my camera where I'm filming right now, but I like to have a mirror in front of me when I'm cold calling. So let's say that I'm calling right here and my mirror is in front of me. I like to be able to look at myself just to make sure that I'm smiling. That way, when somebody picks up the phone, I'm already with my smile on and I sound much happier and more pleasant to speak to. So having a mirror in front of you is definitely something I highly recommend in whatever it is that you're doing, just because it's going to help you. And at the same time, it's funny because when I'm having my conversations with these people, I'm looking at myself, and when I'm saying certain objection handlers, it's like I don't have the person in front of me, but because I'm looking at myself talking and delivering my scripts or whatever it is, it helps me deliver things more confidently. And at the same time, I just have something to look at, and I'm always, again, smiling. Moving on to number four, whenever I start making cold calls, especially when it comes to calling expireds, I have my screen open, and on one side I have the MLS, and on the other side I have Mojo. Now, if you have been watching me for a long time, you know that I use the Mojo Sales 3-line dialer to make my calls. So the reason that I have the MLS on one hand side and then Mojo on the other hand side is so that when, let's say, a homeowner pops up and I'm calling an expired, there is a section where it has the MLS ID, and as I'm having this conversation with this person, if I can sense that it's going somewhere, I copy the MLS ID to the MLS, and then I can right then and there pull up the listing, and as I'm speaking to this person, I can kind of scroll through, look at the pictures, and get an idea for myself as to perhaps why that home came off the market. Now, the homeowner on the other line doesn't know that I'm already looking at the listing, so they might even ask you, oh, well, did you see the pictures? And if you already have that open, you can be like, yeah, you know, I'm actually looking at the pictures right now and I completely see why your home didn't sell. The pictures could be a little bit better. Or you can just say, yeah, you know, you have great pictures, you have a great looking home, which is why I'm surprised that your home didn't sell. And then you just move on with your script. So having the MLS on one side, Mojo on the other side is something I highly recommend that you guys do, and it will make things a lot easier. Now, number 5 is knowing your scripts. If you're in sales, if you're making calls, it's very important that you know what to say, especially if you're making these cold calls, because you're very likely to encounter someone that's gonna just fire off objections, and if you don't know how to answer or how to respond, then they're going to traumatize you because they're going to just probably go off on you. So having your scripts, memorizing them, practicing them is going to help you have much better success when cold calling, because you're going to be better prepared and kind of have an idea of what to expect from the other side, whoever you're speaking to, what they might say. So having your scripts, if you're in real estate, you can go online, Google scripts. There are all kind of scripts. MikeFerry.com has free scripts. There's also the Book of Yes, which is from Kevin Ward, and the scripts that I have used. But there are so many out there. Just pick one, stick to it, memorize it, practice it, and role play it. All those things will get you to become very skilled, to the point that when you're cold calling, you're confident and you're not nervous or scared that what is the next person gonna say, and oh my gosh, what if I don't know what to answer, and what if they throw me off? Practice makes perfect. So just keep that in mind. So definitely scripts, that's number 5. And for number 6, this is something that's not related to skills or anything like that. It comes down to your posture. The better the posture, whether you're standing or sitting, the better you're gonna feel when you're making these cold calls. Because let's face it, if you're slouching like this and you get somebody that's rude on the phone, you're gonna be like, I don't wanna do this anymore. You're gonna hang up, and then you're just kind of dread the rest of the day. But if your posture is great, you're standing up straight, your voice is projected better, you sound happier, the pitch of your voice maybe is a little bit higher, and you just sound more alive on the phone, then the person on the other line, maybe if they sense that you're sharp and you're on your game that day, they might give you a shot if they're thinking about buying or selling, or they might tell you a little bit more about their situation and what happened that the home didn't sell, or just whatever it is. So your posture is very important, again, because that will reflect on your voice. And obviously, the better you sound, the more confident you sound, the more likely that whoever's on the other side of the phone will have a better conversation with you. And that's always the key at the end of the day. You want to have a good conversation where when you click with someone, even if they were not a lead, they might give you a compliment and say, hey, you know, I appreciate you calling me. I'm not going to sell, but thanks for your time, and just keep in touch. So yes, your posture. And again, whether you're sitting or standing, I know many of you like to stand when you're calling. Sometimes I stand, for the most part I sit. That's completely up to you and what you feel comfortable doing. Just make sure that you're always sitting up straight and you're smiling when you're calling. And there will be long periods of minutes where nobody answers, but just make sure that you're always smiling, because when you least expect it, someone's gonna answer the phone and you just have to be ready. So that's it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed all of the tips that I gave you. Again, all of this is based on my experience for making hundreds and thousands of phone calls over the past 3.5 years. Believe me, when I started, I was not good at cold calling. I get a lot of comments and messages from you guys telling me, Loida, how did you get so good? One day I want to be like you. And you just have to do it consistently every single day. And it might be scary, but the longer you do it, the more comfortable you will get, so that over time you will be very skilled and you'll know exactly what to expect from whoever you're speaking to, whether it's a for sale by owner, expired, or just whoever it is. So with that being said, if you did enjoy it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share it with somebody else. Let me know any stories or any other tips that you have that makes you excited or that you have implemented when you cold call or you prospect. Leave it in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.